of course, everybody's thinking about this, so we have to talk about it. Jamaica on Wednesday recorded 4 more COVID-19 deaths, pushing the tally to 111. One other death is under investigation. Those who have died are a 70-year-old female from St. Catherine, a 74-year-old female from St. Catherine, and a 75-year-old male from St. Elizabeth, and a 69-year-old male from Westmoreland. I know we have to acknowledge it. It's happening. We can't ignore it. But it's just sad to realize how we have moved from being a small amount of people passing away and a small amount of cases being recorded to this all of a sudden 180 flip where
and the recent case, I think there was one yesterday where an elderly person took their own life because of it, because there's so much doubt creeping in. People, the infomercials are saying if you're over a certain age and you catch it, the likeliness of you surviving is, and I think we have to try and help them.
And let everybody know that it's not a death sentence necessarily, you know. You have to be careful, you have to be, especially if you suffer from any of the comorbidities that, you know, are high risk. But let us realize that there is a possible life after COVID. Don't let it get you to the point where you're so depressed that you think there's no way out aside from taking your own
sometimes
life.
Though, sometimes though, that fear factor, it cripples everything.
Yeah, man, it
cripples all hope. It cripples all expectancy, and you just feel like that there's nowhere else. You know, and it's tough. But we have to do what we have to do to help each other and to take care of our elderly citizens, the young ones. It doesn't matter because it's people dying in their 20s from it, young babies. So we have to be mindful and as best as we can, just try and limit the spread of this thing.
Yes, and definitely hold your brothers and sisters up, you know. You gotta hold them up.
All right, we travel overseas now. President Donald Trump announced on Twitter that he and the First Lady have been tested positive for COVID-19, a disease that has affected 7.5 million people in the United States and killed almost 212,000. So it is confirmed, you know, President Trump tested positive for the coronavirus, and I guess it was only a matter of time. Some people would say, because
I mean, what do you want me to say? Initially, he was against mask wearing. Then he told them in the White House that it didn't look good for them to wear the masks, and then he said, "Oh, I like masks." And when he was, I have a mask on me, you know.
But you know what it is, though.
I don't know.
What people have to realize that if you never realized it before, this thing don't care who you are.
Of course not.
But people don't. A lot of people didn't think that, you know. It doesn't care who you are, whether you're black, you're white, you're man, you're woman, you're rich, you're poor, whether you live in Jamaica
everybody
or it
respects Idris Elba. If Corona go box Idris, it will box anybody.
But even after him, you know, it's almost like people are still, and even now, people are still going out in their numbers, not protecting themselves, not protecting each other, and it's just a little selfish.
Little selfish? It's severely selfish, especially for the people who can't help themselves, like the very young ones or the very old ones. It's hard for me to know. When I was coming and I see people on the road, it's so crazy when I look out and I see a person without a mask.
Especially in this time.
If you go to the supermarket and somebody comes too close to you and you ask them to step back, sometimes they take offense. You know, that's not an offensive thing. Right now, everybody's trying to keep themselves and you safe.
So we wish, like everyone else, the president and his wife a speedy recovery, because, you know, we wouldn't want to see anybody's life from this thing.
So, next up, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says that the ministry will be launching a mental health initiative in response to the coronavirus, COVID-19, which will focus on the elderly. Oh my gosh. Can I clap? Yes. Tufton made the disclosure at the weekly virtual COVID Conversations press briefing on Wednesday at the NCEU, that's Northern Caribbean University in Manchester. I am over the moon about that. I am so sorry. Anything that has to do with mental health, you know that I'm like I'm on the train. So I'm very happy that they will be doing that. I'm glad that they'll be focusing on our older family members, but we have to make sure that everybody gets some kind of attention when it comes to mental health, because some people are not in such a wonderful place, you know?
And I'm glad the conversation is shifting, because in the past, people never take this thing serious.
Definitely.
Because it was, you know, them mad. Things that happen to it. It's more than that. And I know that it's not just
Yeah.
You know, a little thing that is in passing, it stays with you
Yeah.
for a very long time. So I'm happy of the initiative that's been taken. And we, again, I said, we all have to play our part. And
Yeah.
if we can get involved somehow, some way, please, we have to try and do that.
Definitely. Everyone has a family member or somebody they know who suffers from some kind of mental illness. It's a varied amount of different things. So we can't just say, you know, it's one thing or it's the depression or it's schizophrenia. But all of those things need attention, and I'm glad our government has made a step to give those things some attention. Kudos to you.
Yeah. This story is a little tough for me because of what has happened in recent days to even families here. Chrissy Teigen and her husband John Legend are in deep pain after suffering a loss, a miscarriage, which the model announced on social media Wednesday night. She wrote that they were driving home from the hospital without any baby. And this is unreal, end quote.
Yeah.
And Teigen and John have been a social media power couple, so to speak, and they're loved
They're
by
one
a
of the
lot.
more believable couples.
Yeah.
They're more of they're one of the more real couples that make you feel like, you know, you and them know each other.
Yeah,
so everybody feels like this is a loss, but the only people who really feel that pain is them.
It's them. And
you
even
know?
last night I was watching the news and I had to turn it off. The case out there in the West, young man expecting his first child and his wife, his mother, the child's mother and the child passing away. And I think
She's
about
25.
that. And I think about that, and it's something I think about often when I think about women and the risk that they have to go through with having a child. It's life or death, you know.
Yeah, man.
And for us as men to not respect women and the burden they bear,
Tough
especially in that,
things, man.
it's tough. And how men treat women who bear children for them, not knowing that what they are doing is risking their lives to bring new life into this world.
That's
and
right.
it's tough. It's tough
And
to
also
think
we need
about
to
that.
pay attention to the mothers who have lost children, whether it's by a stillbirth or
Miscarriage,
having a
yeah.
child and it's a miscarriage. Whatever it is, losing a child is losing a life. It's losing a child, you know. So it might feel small for you because that baby wasn't around for you to fall in love with, but I'm telling you that mother and father, they're falling in love with that baby, that life, you know. So let us send them all good energy as much as we can. I mean, there's not much that we can do on this side of it except for, you know, wishing them
and with
well.
everything happening, it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
but we still have to.
But them have
hold
a
on to
nice
it.
support system.
Yeah.
That's what I'm grateful for. So I mean, I think they'll rise from it.
Yep.
All right, guys. So much happening. That's it for the trending topics. But don't go anywhere because we're gonna make it fun for ya.
I wish I had some hot chocolate.
No, sir. Me too. Hot
No.
already. This
I
line
drink
with
hot chocolate
fleece.
regardless, you know.
No, some juice.
I love hot chocolate. Like really. Like, well, can get some.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go for a video pic. So it's time for our first video pic this morning, and it's gonna get us right into the mood.